Now to talk about the legal implications, let's bring in criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool. As you heard there, Lori Smith very much saying this is all about free speech, Brian, and her attorney, who argued this before the Supreme Court, said the following, quoting here, "The First Amendment, though, is clear. The government cannot dictate what we say and don't say. In Lori's case, the free speech threat is especially severe. Colorado seeks the authority to commandeer Lori's virtual stories, her websites, and redeploy them to promote Colorado's view of marriage, and the conservative justices appeared to be fairly compelled by this argument today." Your thoughts?
Yeah, Trace, great to be back with you. I mean, is this case really about the First Amendment and the creative artistic expression? I think if you look at this case that was ruled on a few years ago, remember the Baker case?
Sure.
Lady that baked the cake for a same-sex couple? Mm-hmm. She actually won that case. But in that ruling, Justice Kennedy said, it was a very close call now. Mm-hmm. He said, if there was any less of a creative expression in that case, he would have ruled differently. So I think if you're looking strictly at the rule of law here, I think it's less artistic to develop a website for a wedding versus
that, though, Brian?
a cake.
Who's to decide it's less artistic to develop a website if your artistic skill is to develop a website and your artistic skill is to bake these amazing cakes? Who's to say, well, the website's not nearly as artistic as the cake? I mean, who makes that judgment?
Well, the court's going to make that. The court's going to make that decision.
Fair.
And have you baked at all? I mean, have you tried to bake a cake before?
Have you ever tried to design a website?
I haven't.
It's brutal.
I know, but I think if you look strictly at the law, I really think this is more about who she really wants to service versus the message. That's what I think. But the court's probably going to find in favor of her because of the political disposition of the Supreme Court.
Very well, Coach. I want to move on now because now we're being told Venmo, anything above $600, they want you to file a 1099. It just feels like this administration wants the government in every aspect, every facet of everybody's life.
Trace, total government overreaching. And if I was consulting the Republican Party, this would be Exhibit A in the 2024 elections, because this is a flat-out lie by President Biden. He said, I'm not going to tax anybody who makes less than $400,000. This is a flat-out tax. It's destroying small business owners. Mm-hmm. It's destroying part-time workers. And this is really at the heart of the middle America. So Republicans should say, hey, you really want this man running the country again?
Yeah, House Ways and Means Committee statement said the following, quoting here, if you sold a couch, resold tickets for the price you paid, or just did some extra work on the side, you could trigger further scrutiny from the Internal Revenue Service. I guess it's in some form an invasion of privacy. Is that a fair assessment?
I totally think it is. And I think what the Democratic Party is doing, they're trying to digitalize everything, make everything electronic. I was in the bank today trying to do money transfer. Mm-hmm. There are 10 people in line because there's one teller. Why is there one teller? Because the Democratic Party wants everything on digitalized, everything computerized, so that they can now trace every transaction you're doing, I'm doing, all small business owners are doing, so they can tax you out the nose.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. Cash is very silent when it comes to IRS, right? It doesn't say much, and that's what they do not want. They want everything to be electronic. Brian, great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Trace.